Life on Earth is a living hell, no doubt, for many in the pits. From war to third world slavery, famine and disease, to worldwide microwaving and the killing of the bees. The destruction of our genome and the damage of our brains. Since when was microwaving or life on Earth not deemed insane? The problems we face in these days, in their millions, yet people are running around like they're minions. Now we can have a conversation. Now can we have a conversation about the clouds in the sky and weather manipulation and hypothesise why? Let's have a chat about nanotechnology that appear to self-replicate inside our anatomy. Let's have a few words about enforced vaccinations or the crippling perils of the 5th generation. Let's talk about issues like chemical warfare and depleted uranium. You must know the score there. Let's talk about harp, and I don't mean harp music. Let's talk about smart tech and why to refuse it. Let's have a chat about artificial intelligence, or AI for short. Let's discuss what is relevant. Like robots in retail and driverless trucks, dehumanisation of the nation for bucks. Let's talk about the epidemic of widespread disease, unknown to medics, from EMF frequencies. We're in the final hour. Information is the key. So let's talk cell phone towers, Wi-Fi and 5G. Let's talk about the 4th Industrial Revolution and ask why. But now we don't have all the solutions. Complex is the cocktail of industrial debris. Big up the sails, never mind if it's deadly. There is no denial or staring into the void. Of course, our environment is being destroyed. But carbon emissions being the root cause, hold on a minute, can we put that on pause? So many problems need complex solutions. So how is CO2 causing all the pollution? There are so many issues, we could all go around in circles, yet carbon emissions are the most controversial. Now, weren't we taught in school that CO2 is food for plants and that trees provide us oxygen, and we're in some kind of trance? Carbon and oxygen, a miracle molecule, feeding the foliage. It's just biological. They tell you the problems, then they offer solutions. They can tell you that carbon dioxide is pollution. And while the UK is making all this racket, you'd think we might have learnt something from France in their yellow jackets. They've taken to the streets to lift the carbon tax. The fiery French are futile while we're missing the facts. Pleading our government to charge a small tax because state-funded scientists dished out pseudo-facts. Did they think we're incapable of having our own voice? They think we're so backwards. They give us mono-choice. Let's talk about IPCC report and the threat of extinction. Let's give that a thought before we reach a conviction. The mathematical construct that never came true. Blatant misconduct known by the few. No disrespect intended, I wouldn't want to offend you, but United Nations scientists have their own agenda. Let there be no confusion, let's be totally clear, this isn't an attack on environmentalists here. How else can I say it with love to each soul? This isn't about ecology, it's about having control. Psychological operations to confuse you, good and proper, controlling the nations through divide and conquer. You see, the enemy know that people are frustrated, so they're harnessing that energy to have us castrated. Let's talk about the Club of Rome.
Trying to frighten.
We should pick a common fear to unite them. They tell us what we should be fearing. Yes, Your Highness, this is social engineering at its finest. Well-intended people fall into the trap, know not what they're asking for, bullshitted by the sap. So they rounded up the rebels to fight for their mission. I tell you on the level, it's called controlled opposition. Get the people to fight for a lost cause, so then the real crime comes to fight. They have clipped all our claws. Police records on all the troublemakers, meanwhile they just slaughtered nature. Because while they block the roads in London, they're chopping down the trees in your local area, exclusive for 5G. It's time to wake up, Truman. We're about to be taken over by the transhumans. Meanwhile, transhumanism, in other words robots, forgive them because they know not. You see 5G required for driverless cars and AI is required for barmaid-free bars. They want us living in a world with indifference, where what we deem as reality is somewhere in the distance, where we are literally living in a virtual reality, where we won't know the truth from the fallacy, where we're giving our homes and our rights away. They'll control us with robots and take all our cars till we no longer know who we are. Technology presented to us is glorified, but if we continue down this road, our babies will be genetically modified. Agenda 21 is now Agenda 2030. They have us under their thumb by playing dirty. Sooner or later there'll be no more plane travel and no personal cars. Then we'll be in trouble. They want us herded up in smart city pens where they roam around freely in their Mercedes-Benz. 90% of basic jobs will be gone with increased EMFs. Do you see something wrong? People will be dropping down dead from cancer and a good dose of chemo will be their answer. It's rapidly looking like 1984. Georgia Orwell, News Score. I didn't hear free energy get a mention, but I guess that's the intention. Let's talk about atmosphere electricity, the Tartarian Empire and hidden human history. Let's talk about cars fueled by water, or else, quite shortly, we'll be heading for slaughter. We can live in a world that is peaceful and green, but what they have planned for us is simply obscene. They want us all under surveillance, just like China, living in smart cities with a lost inner fire. They want us on their level with the devil, cold and primitive. So remember, in every moment and in our work, to take initiative. If we are to have anything more than an inkling, then we must use our discernment and critical thinking. We weren't put on God's earth just to follow orders, to question everything and hurdle every border. We built their empire. Now they no longer need us, yet we have the skills and the answers between us. It's time to rebel against the rebellion. You can pick your own causes and the myths must dispel again. It's about time we took matters into our own hands. Divided we fall and united we stand, and fight for our lives in this technocratic hell, to do everything that a robot can't do and do it well. In the age of the cyberborgs, in all of its bleakness, we must share our gifts and our very uniqueness. A rebel with a real ball stands alone and goes inside, armed with intuition, third eye opened wide. And to fight what is coming, we must see the insanity, face all our fears, and then find our humanity.
Well done.
That was right,
Well done.
Sorry if I
Great poem, Lisa. There's a poem by Lisa.
Very good.
Read by Lucy.
Really good.
He's here with John. They've come all the way from 250 k's away. Yeah. A good day in Marseille and a good day for your first bit of street activism.
Yeah, it's great.
Thanks for everything. And thanks for watching. This is Bordeaux. Good night.
Perfect. Perfect.